Earth is the only visible object other than the sun that can be seen, although extreme approaches to planets I myself did not see planets from a certain spectrum visible.
Another week with Foxy and the Lamb. Yes, it's Into the Unknown UK. Oh, Salami, what have you been up to this week?
Not that much, really. Kind of busy with the podcast. I don't know, actually, probably sums up that I
Well, do you just sit home doing nothing when you're not doing this? Like, putting your feet up, watching TV?
Yeah, staring out the window, mainly.
Lazy as ever, really.
I did look at our family planner today. And there was
Family
only
planning?
Family planner
Oh,
on the
even
wall
more
in
kids.
the kitchen, you know, that says what events you've got that month. And
Yeah.
there was just one event on the 10th of November, which was to flea and worm the cat.
You need to get a life.
I do really, don't I?
We've had the plumbers in. It's not a euphemism.
Is this a joke?
No, the plumber's been in. I met John. Yeah, the plumber. Yeah, he's doing my
Okay.
roof space. That's not very funny, is it?
I think we better get on with it now.
Think we better add, yeah. Well, what else have we done? Oh, we saw Colin Mumford last week. Went to playing
Yes,
comedy
That was brilliant.
in Northern, didn't they? Were good.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Northern Players.
Northern players do. Yeah,
Yes,
another
that's
shout out. Actually, somebody who's listening to this in India won't know where Northern is. Really,
South Manchester.
South Manchester, England. Yeah, we've got
Northern
9
England.
listeners in India at the minute.
Yay!
That's exciting. Let's hope that's 9,000 by the end of the week. But yeah, so another shout out to At Playing Comedy with Colin Mumford and Lorraine, who were on our ghost hunt the other week. They're doing great. So smash a like on them and us whenever you're downloading stuff.
Get down to playing comedy. It
Really?
was brilliant.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
So are you feeling stressed at the minute?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Where's this going?
I think you need some magic in your life.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, we're not talking about Paul Daniels because we could probably get him, like if we did the psychic reading, bring him back from the dead. Maybe.
That's right. Or Debbie.
Oh, Debbie McGee, she's alive.
Oh, she is, isn't she? Sorry.
Just Paul. Right, but no, we've actually got somebody who is an actress, author, and a white witch who will tell us all about this. I've known her for about 10 years. Gina's
And I've
known her for about 10 minutes.
But she's lovely.
Yeah.
Really lovely.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, members of the Associated Press, it's Samantha Giles.
Yay!
Hello, Sam.
Can we press the clap button?
The clap button? Oh,
Yeah.
I won't do that, it'll probably break. Just go like that.
I should
Brilliant.
have brought my little sound machine. I've got all these that make all
Have you?
these
Do it all.
noises,
Do that next time.
Take that to interviews with you.
I
To
should do,
praise
shouldn't I?
yourself after you think
Maybe
you
we could
said
do a
something
tour
good.
with us talking about going and Sam playing on a little machine. Shriek.
That's a brilliant
Yeah,
idea.
and
That's
it's
the
got
best idea
it's
you've
got
ever
all-
had.
It's got good fart noises.
Has it?
And it's got like and people, glasses smashing and all that
Brilliant.
kind of thing.
Oh, I love it.
I don't need a
Where'd you
machine
get
for
one
the
of
fart
those?
noise. But,
I
hey,
need that to carry around to play in my life.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you're going to get the cat wormed and all that sort of stuff.
As I
just,
sit
well
looking
done.
out the window, keep going,
So, Sam Giles. Obviously, people out there know you as an actress on a certain TV soap. But you've done more than that soap as well. You've done Emmerdale,
Yeah.
obviously. You were in Hollyoaks. You've done loads. You've been Where the Heart Is, wasn't it?
Yeah, Where the Heart Is, yeah. Oh, God, a bit of everything, really. Yeah, episodes of this, that and the other, lots of theatre.
Yeah.
I hope to get back to all the, the treading the boards again at some point.
Yeah.
It's
A bit of
Brilliant.
jobbing as well.
and a writer.
a bit of jobbing. Yeah, and the writing, yeah, that's only been over the last few years, actually. I never thought I'd write anything. Well, I used to
Wow.
write poetry when I was a teenager, but I don't know if that
We
counts.
all did that.
Yeah, exactly. So,
It's hard to sit down though, isn't it? Because I write, and I'm doing this film of mine at the minute, and like I'll just spend the day washing instead of something, knowing you've got to sit down and focus on it.
It is
Yeah.
hard, and I'm a great one. I'd go to the fridge, and I get out a piece of ham, and then I go
Yeah.
and make a cup of tea, and then I think, what can I eat
Which
now?
is strange because you're vegetarian.
I'm terrible.
Piece of ham, stick it on the wall.
Where's that sound box when you need it?
Yeah.
Exactly. I know. Or chocolate. I have to write it down as a calorie count because
Right.
otherwise I would seriously stuff my face with biscuits all day, I think.
That's all I've done in lockdown. I put
Sounds
stone
like a
on.
good life to me.
Well, I'm never in work at the minute on the filming side, so I'm like going, I don't eat that much, but I'm never moving.
I know, that's the thing,
You
isn't
know.
it? If you're not... I try and do a little bit of exercise every day. I did go on the running machine this morning.
Did you?
Only for like 15, 20 minutes, yeah.
I can't run anymore because my knee's knackered.
Just
Yeah,
a little
that's
bit
not
each
bad.
day is good, though.
Yeah.
Very good. Anyway, how do all these connect? How does sort of the writing, the acting?
Well, I suppose what it is, it's taking back, and you'll know what I mean about this, Liam. It's taking back control when you write, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you know, when you're an actor, you really have very little control. You just say yes or no to a job, and you don't really. That's it, really. And obviously, you help create the character. You put your take on it, but the director will come along and give you notes. Producers might, whatever. Whereas when you're writing, you really have that complete freedom to write a character how you want, to explore a storyline. So it is quite exciting. And obviously you write, the kids' books I've written myself parts in them as well.
Yeah,
So
you got to do that.
yeah, so I'm hoping that at some point they'll get made.
What was the inspiration for the book then?
So I had a dream for the first book. I had this dream about these 4 witch and wizard characters that lived in the house with us.
Yeah.
So the book is based, sort of, the kids and the husband and wife, sort of based on my family. And then these characters that I dreamt about that were so vivid. And so I just started writing, and it sort of, I didn't really know where the book was going to go. And then that sort of developed as I wrote it. And now I've just had, so that first one was Rosemary and the Witches of Pendle Hill. So I incorporated like the history of the Pendle witches and everything in it.
Yeah.
And then I've moved on to the second book, which has just been published. It's a trilogy, so there's going to be one more book next year, hopefully, that gets published. So the second one, Rosemary and the Book of the Dead, has just come out. And that sort of goes into Egyptology and
Yeah.
the ancient Egyptians.
I read the
and-
first one. I need to read the second one because I read the first one before you'd had it published. I think.
I think you did actually, yeah. It has
Brilliant.
changed.
Because I'd written a kid's
bit.
book, and after reading Sam's, I thought I need to rewrite mine. Really, mine's a bit crap.
It's incredible though, the editing process, especially when you work with somebody else on it. This is what I knew I needed, a good editor. And when
Yeah.
you've got someone that's working with you on the
Yeah.
edit, it's so helpful because they'll pick out things and say, that needs to be developed more, or that really doesn't give you that doesn't add anything to the story, so you could get shot of that. And it's
Yeah.
quite hard to get shot of. With this new book, I had these whole loads of scenes in the soap opera part of it, because the mum gets a job in a soap opera,
Yeah.
and I had all this what I thought was very funny stuff with
No
the
need to
with
ask
the-
where you got the inspiration from
Yeah.
that bit.
I wonder.
But I had like one of the canteen staff doing a moonie, if she ever heard the word butter.
Want to read it just because of that?
Yeah, that had to come out because it wasn't actually moving the plot on, but it made me laugh, because I'm stupid, got a stupid sense of humour. But I had to get rid of loads of that. But I did keep Harriet, who does yoga in a bra and tights.
Nice.
She stayed.
Yeah.
That Julie Walters in the film, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you
Brilliant.
do? Have you done sort of book signings or anything like
I have,
that?
yeah. I've
or-
done a few, and I've got 2 more. I don't know when this is coming out, but I've got one on the
This will probably out end of November. This.
right, so they will have
Yeah.
finished by then.
Do some more.
Oh, do some
Yeah.
more,
Oh,
please.
yeah.
Please,
But there
Sam.
are signed. If you go to my website, which is www.thesamanthagiles.co.uk, there's a full list of where the signings have been. So all of those bookshops will probably still have copies because I've left book plates, signed book plates, and so on.
Great.
And you
yeah.
can also request a signed book plate from my website, and I'll send it out for free.
Oh, wicked.
Even
you
to
could.
Ireland. I've even
Even
been
to
spending
Ireland.
the
Wow.
£1.96 that it costs
What a
to
Jeez.
girl.
send a tiny little book plate to
Actually
Ireland.
nice.
Yeah.
Because
That's
it's
a
tough
lovely
writing,
message.
isn't it? It is really hard work. You know,
Yeah.
especially if you're a mum. Your kids are a lot younger than mine as well, so you've got that to deal with as well, and your husband as well. You know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a big deal.
It's probably hardest,
It's the
isn't
fact
it?
that there's no, it's the first few years and everything, there's no real financial remuneration, is there? You're not getting, you don't really make any money at all. I mean, that's not why you go into it, obviously, but,
No.
it is tough because you think, I'm not making any, I can't make a living from
And
this.
that's probably
Yeah.
the same with J.K. Rowling, isn't it? Which is probably a similarity as far as the supernatural sort of books. She wouldn't have been earning anything to start with.
No, that's true. That's true. And look at her, amazing now.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I did notice yesterday, which I wanted to point out, was in Sainsbury's. There are other supermarkets available,
Yeah.
and
Aldi, Lidl.
and I looked at the kids' books in the shop, and do you know, every single one of them, apart from 2, were by men. And I thought,
Oh, really?
hang on a
Wow.
minute. So there was
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling and Liz Pichon. I'm not sure how you say it now.
Yeah.
Pichon. And they were the only 2 female ones. The rest of them, there were about another 5 or 6, and they were all men. And I thought, hey, come on. Hey,
That's
come
weird,
on.
isn't it?
Come on, get
I've
by
never
Sam
even
Giles.
thought about that. Yeah.
Just a little look, because I said, let's go down and look at the children's books, knowing that mine won't be there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't that
it
what-
will be.
One day.
We could stand
one
outside
day.
all the shops with placards saying
Yes.
"Buy Sam Giles today,"
That's it.
causing riots. You know, like the what's
Get
it
it in
protest the
store.
environmental protesters on the
What?
motorway. We'll block the
God,
M62
yeah.
unless people buy your book.
They've
That's
been
the
in
one.
trouble. I think it might have the opposite effect, though. That's the only thing.
Well, yeah, possibly.
What's that process then between you writing the book and I suppose you've got an agent? Have you got an agent? Do you have to get an agent
So,
to get it on those shelves?
I think you do need a literary agent, really, because they're the ones that sell, that try and get a publisher for you.
Yeah.
And then the whole publishing thing, you've got kind of levels of grades of publisher, if you like, and you've got the huge, big publishers, and then you've got more independent ones, and you've got the very small publishers. And if you are with a smaller publisher, which I am with, then they don't have that clout. You know, the bookshops don't necessarily
Yeah.
automatically take their books.
Yeah.
The supermarkets don't. You know, all the big publishers.
But you get a personal relationship with them, maybe though.
Yeah,
It's-
you
it's a
do.
bit
You do
closer.
get that, and
Yeah.
you know, and I've had a really great editor, and you know, actually, she's just about to leave the company, which is a real shame.
Right.
So you know, that's quite sad, because I'd really like her to still edit the 3rd book.
Yeah, that'd be
you know-
different, won't it? Yeah, going for another editor.
Yeah.
on the book,
Yeah,
right.
because that's important, that they understand your characters and your work and what your
Yeah.
meaning is, you know, your intention and everything, and how the characters sound. Because I know when it was copy edited, the very final stage is where they get a copy editor to sort of read through it. And she's someone that I'd never met. And I kind of got the hump a bit, really, because she kept trying to change things that were people's speech. And it was like, because they've got an accent, that's why they speak like that. So I'm not changing that word because that character's got a Manchester accent, or that character's got
Yeah.
a Scottish accent. So she doesn't say no bother, she says near bother.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that cannot be changed, and so that's frustrating.
But you're bringing it to life. It's got to be truthful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see your characters. They've got to speak properly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to happen. And I have a psychic feeling you've been making the film in about 2 years.
Oh yes.
2.5 years.
Oh,
Lammy.
Do you know what? It's
Yes.
funny because I woke up in bed. It was a month or so ago. I don't know, a couple months ago. And you know when you've been told something, you know, like say I said to you, this room is blue.
Yeah.
You go, yeah, I know it's blue. Yeah, it's blue. Yeah. So I woke up and I went, oh, okay. And it was like somebody had just said to me, they're going to be made. They're going to be made into films, or they're
Yeah.
going to be made into. They will
Yeah.
get made. And I had this overwhelming just certainty it's going to happen. And I just laid back down and went to sleep. And I woke up the next morning and I thought that was weird. So you just have to hold on to that. And that's the hardest bit, isn't it? Keeping
Yeah.
that faith.
Yeah, you've got to believe in yourself.
When you know,
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
and yeah, absolutely. Which is at any point of this industry, whether you're an actor, a writer, a musician, whatever, you got to believe in yourself, in your dreams. Otherwise, you're knackered, aren't you?
Yeah,
really?
yeah, you
You're
might
gonna
as
give up.
well do something else.
And what
Yeah.
you're doing is good. What you're putting out there is decent material.
Yeah.
So
Keep the faith.
if Paul's read them and liked them, I'm going with that.
There we go.
There
Paul
you
or
go.
Liam or Foxy, whatever I'm called, as you
yes,
know.
Foxy.
Yeah, I've got 1,000,001 names.
Keeps changing it. I don't know who he is.
Don't tell the
anymore.
tax man. So we had someone keeping the faith. You, Sam, are a white witch, pagan.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
probably call myself a follower of Whicker, I
Right.
suppose.
Not Alan.
And Alan Whicker.
Around the
I could be a
world.
follower. Be
Yeah.
a follower. I'm quite happy to go round the world. Actually,
Oh yeah,
that'd be good, wouldn't
there's
it?
another show.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's see if we can make that one happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I suppose so Wicca basically it's a form of paganism. It's like where you are celebrating the natural cycles of of nature, of the earth, of the seasons. So we've just had Halloween, which we call Samhain, and that is the end of the year. That's like New Year and New Year's Eve really for Wiccans. So it's the very last harvest that you're celebrating, and you're looking toward like the darkness coming, the winter setting in, and everything kind of going to sleep. But that has to happen in order to re-emerge,
Yeah.
So
okay.
it's quite a spiritual time of year. You know, it's also when obviously the veil is at its thinnest, you know, between life and the afterlife, if
Yeah.
you like. So that's when you honour your ancestors and when you can really make contact, you know, more easily with
That's funny
past
because
ones.
my wife did that the other day, and I didn't really know about Day of the Dead.
Oh yeah,
Apart
yeah.
from the film, so she got all the pictures out downstairs, put it on the
Yeah.
table, and lit a candle, and we had tea with all our dead family in front of us. People might think that's mad, but I thought it was really quite
No,
nice.
it's lovely, isn't it? Because it is.
Yeah.
It's honouring their memory, and it's, you know, it's a celebration, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, just even in a positive sense like that, it's quite nice to have a time of year when you look back and you kind of think about those people.
For us as well, because I lost my dad this year, you lost your mum as well, so
Yeah.
it kind of they're big events,
no.
aren't they?
Yeah.
Maybe that's to a certain extent why we're doing this podcast. There is some sort of link to the other side of, on a subconscious level, we're probably both going, we're making a connection, and actually everything about what we've done in the last 6 weeks has been positive, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Something's kind of clicked with both of us, hasn't it? To kind of just free ourselves up and do this
Yeah,
and just go for it.
new beginnings,
Yeah.
really. So with with the Whicker, Sam, when did that kind of connect with you? When did you get interested in it?
Oh, when I was about 18 or something. I think it's something within the family, really, because my parents would never call themselves, you know, Wiccans or anything like that. But,
Yeah.
you know, we were brought up doing things very much in nature. We'd always go and collect, you know, blackberries. We'd always go and go collecting damsons and make things. We'd go out at the different changes of the seasons. We'd go and get snowdrops, or, you know, in January, February, and then bluebells in April, May, and everything would be marked by some kind of nature thing,
Yeah.
if you like. My mum used to read her palms, and she used to see animals with people. That's all finished now, and I think it's because she had that invitation to follow it and to, you know, if you like, from spirit world, and she didn't take it up. She
Right.
didn't want to. So it sort of closed, that door closed. So it's definitely something within our family. And my dad is very hands-on, you know, he does a lot of carpentry, and he makes a lot of things, and he writes.
So it's creative, so he's like
So
open
it's all
to...
those creative things, energies, and so it just sort of something which has grown and grown for me over the years.
Yeah, because I was looking at your website and some of the stuff that you put together, like spell boxes, or because I suppose, just to be blatantly honest, when you think about witches or stuff you've read in the past, it'd just be kind of like, you know, 3 witches around a cauldron with urine, human hair, and toenail clippings
Yeah.
going in, you know, and it's
Sounds like a few ex-girlfriends.
Did-
During my Tinder time.
Yeah, and you read stuff about them in the past, don't you? James I or that sort of era
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
they tie their hands to the toes and throw them in, and if they sank, they were innocent. And, you know, it's a total other area. It's much more positive, isn't it? Much more on
yeah.
you
I
know,
mean-
looking at nature and using nature.
I mean, witches in the past would have just been really healers, or people that, you know, the healers really that used herbs and different things to
Yes,
cure
yeah.
people and so on. That's all, you know, just wanting to help people, I suppose.
Was it sort of religious control that was making them look like they were bad? because
and I
they-
think even
Yeah.
lots of midwives were accused of being witches, you know, but in the Victorian times, if they delivered babies and they died, obviously the mortality rate would have been really high
Yeah.
in years gone by.
Yeah.
So if they, you know, delivered so many dead babies, stillborn babies, they would have been accused of witchcraft.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rather than the fact that, you know, sanitation was so poor, and obviously there weren't all these things there to help monitor people giving birth and so on and so forth.
But it's interesting, isn't it, that link, and how as things have turned around, because I was reading about James I writing a book about it, and sort of prior to that there'd been 500 plus women killed because they were, you know, someone had denounced them as a witch, usually a male person. But when you read between the lines of it, there's a lot of sort of herbal, which everybody's into herbal medicine, and
Everybody
you know,
now,
it's,
yeah.
that's quite a popular thing. Whereas
Yeah.
they were sort of damned for it back then.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, you know, I just found it quite interesting when I was looking at some of the stuff, and some of the spells and what they involved and the materials they involved. They're just all natural products, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, it's
I mean,
great.
I keep, there's simple things you can do, like keeping rosemary in a pot outside your front door. That's supposed to be very lucky.
Oh, really?
you know, and I always use lavender. I make lavender bags. That's supposed to help with sleep. I use a lot of crystals as well, crystal healing, and I use those in the spells and candles. And really, in a way, a lot of these little kits are self-help kits.
Yeah.
You know, so it's taking people through, you know, inviting them to write down how they're feeling or what they want to achieve and what they want to get rid of in their life.
Like spiritual life coaching.
Yeah, it is. It is really.
Yeah.
It is like that. But I don't charge hundreds of pounds for it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're like
It's just
such a
12
lovely-
quid or something.
Come for 3 years or whatever.
Well,
yeah.
exactly, because I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of con artists out there, aren't there, that are going to life coach people and this, that and the other. And I suppose if somebody's getting something positive from that, that's all that matters. But I just think a lot of people that are really desperate don't have the money to be able to spend hundreds of pounds on something which
Yeah.
is probably quite, you know, quite a simple things they can do to start bring about
But
change.
when you're looking
Yeah.
for some change, like you're saying, some positivity, and you don't know where to go, and actually, like you say, writing things down, and just but actually, literally having something to do, and it all feels good and smells nice, and you know, and I
It's
just
a-
think that's
it's
such a
a-
lovely. It's such a nice idea for a present.
Yeah, 'cause
Sounds like I'm
it's
trying
a-
to sell you. I'm not. I'm just.
Especially this Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. I'd get several.
No, I just looked at it. I thought, what a great idea. What
It's a
great.
focus, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
focal
focus,
point. So
exactly.
really, all you're doing, it's the power of your thought. It gives you something to focus on. It's a ritual. And that's what it is. And it's the belief
And that's
with
what
the
people
ritual and
need.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's
just
what
need
makes it
somewhere
happen.
to focus. That was exactly what I was going to say. And if they can focus on something positive rather than the negative, well, you know, it's just
Everyone can be successful and happy if we focus, can't we?
Hmm.
But it's just that getting that focus, whatever it is in life, really. You know, if your life feels crap and you're focusing on the crap, it'll continue to be crap. And it's jumping
Yeah.
outside of it, and that helps you to kind of improve your life.
well,
whatever
you've
may
got to
be.
find a way to get around that and move on, or something to transition you to the next step.
Yeah,
And I think if you can, you know, if you can link into something positive that makes you feel like you're moving forward, or even like Sam said, just writing stuff down sometimes is such a good move.
yeah, definitely.
So do you
It's
think,
all
Sam?
wrapped in
Go
with
on.
mental health?
Yeah, of course it
That's
is,
what-
yeah.
Yeah.
So do you like Sam? Obviously, because obviously as a
Sorry.
series, we've gone in all directions with this, haven't we? So with you being a white witch, do you ever feel like you've got guides or angels or anything that have helped you on this journey or process, or any kind of things that?
Well, I think
kick in?
we've all got guides. I mean, I think people are in tune with them to varying degrees, aren't they? And I mean, I've never seen my guide, you know, whoever they are. I think I just feel instinctively. I get a feeling about things, you know, like I need to do this or I mustn't do that. I get feelings about people, you know, I like that person, I don't like that person.
Yeah.
It's more about their energy, I suppose.
Do you like me, Sam?
I do. I do
Don't even
like
go there,
you.
Gina.
No, I like both of your energies.
Had to
No,
ask.
I wouldn't, you know, obviously. But yeah, I do get those strong feelings about people. I always
Yeah.
think most people do, but maybe they don't.
Trust your gut. Yeah, I think every now and again I get a bit of an unsure feeling about somebody, and I can be proved wrong. But I think if I get that, certain people, you go, oh my God, you connect with them straight away, and you know you're always going to get on with them. Then every now and again you get a real dark energy that you just feel,
Yeah.
you almost feel sick. You have to watch something like Amityville Horror or something, and the house make them sick because of ghosts and spirits. Some people can literally make you want to vomit. They're rare, but you do get them, and you just have to
Yeah,
cut
it's
them out of your
true.
life.
Just a bit dark. Some people
Yeah.
come across quite a little bit dark.
Yeah,
don't
they do.
Yeah.
But like anybody, you know, I know when people listen to these things, they might think, oh God, she sounds like she's got everything sorted. But I'm like anybody else. You know, you have those moments where you think, I don't know what to do next with my life. I feel really lonely. I feel really depressed. I don't know where I should be going. Please let somebody send me a job. You know, I don't want to be in this situation. You know, so there are times when I really do feel lost and alone. But I think that is the human experience, don't you?
Yeah, of course it
Yeah,
is.
definitely. You can't. Anyone who involved in positive thinking or spirituality, whatever else, we're different. We're all different from day to day, aren't we? You know, I like to stay positive, but I get some days where I'm like, I haven't got a clue, a bit depressed. So I'm thinking, what we're doing today, you know. But then I think if you practice positive thinking, spirituality, whatever it might be. You just have to go, right, I just need to reconnect with it again. And I think it's a tool for your life, rather than thinking that you're going to be Mr. or Mrs. Happy Clappy every day, and it's not like that, is it?
Yeah. No, life isn't like that, is it? It doesn't matter what job you do or who you are. You can have up and down days.
Yeah.
You know,
Nothing's perfect.
You do that. I suppose I naively thought that when I was younger. When you look at people that you kind of, you know, idolise or you think look great on TV or whatever, and you think, oh, they've got everything going for them. No,
It's
they
worse
haven't,
now, isn't it?
probably.
Because of Facebook, etc., etc. Because kids now,
Pressure.
everyone's having a great life. You know for a fact when you see some of these people that in reality their lives at home ain't what they're portraying.
That's what you have to remember. Most social media platforms, people are only going to put their greatest pictures they've touched up or the great things that have happened to them. They're not going to put, you know, like I mean, I do go on there sometimes and have a little moan about things because I think well, this is real life. You know, I'm not going to put fantastic photos up all the time because that's not real. Who wants to see that? It gets on your pick.
I think if people looked at mine and Jojo's Facebook page, they'd think we're basically sat holding the dog 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or getting dressed up like a lunatic,
Or watching a box set with the dog.
or a box set with a dog,
'Cause
never
he
in
watches
work.
them.
Yeah. But and then obviously it's like you have all the good things on something like Facebook or on Twitter. Everybody's angry every 5 minutes and shouting and screaming about
Twitter's
something.
horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they need to kind of. Obviously, we'll be advertising the show on that particular forum. But this is a happy clappy show, everybody. Yay!
Everybody's happy here.
We have ghosts and UFOs and white witches, and it's really good. In fact, I feel fabulous today. Yeah. So, anyway. Yeah, people moan on Twitter.
I did have to laugh to myself because I looked up the Witches, Roald Dahl. We've all seen it, it's great, isn't it, the film?
I've not seen the new one, I saw the old one years ago.
And I was looking at the vital signs for a witch. And it says they always wear gloves.
Want to marry you on the first date?
She's not got any gloves on.
Oh, no gloves.
I haven't got any gloves on.
Right.
Yeah.
They're as bald as a boiled egg.
Really?
I tell you, I've got more hair than probably all of us put together.
She's got very thick hair,
Ridiculous.
believe me. Their eyes change colour.
No.
No, wish they did.
They have no toes. She's got socks on, I
Looks
can't
like
see.
there's toes there.
And last but not least, blue spit.
Spit.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Well, you're a good witch.
Yeah, that's
Well-
They were bad.
Well, do you know what? There's not really in Whicker. The rule is harm ye none, and anything that you do that is bad or negative will come back on you threefold. So it's a no-brainer. You don't do bad spells or horrible things.
Like karma, really.
Yeah, it is, because it's just going to come back on you. So it's all about being, do I need to do this? Is this for the greater good? Is this going to harm anybody? No. Okay. Is this for my greater good and those people around me? Yes. So I can do this.
That just kind of encompasses the be kind, doesn't it? You know,
Yeah.
spread kindness.
Yeah.
Do to others like you want done to yourself type
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, in the last book of the trilogy that I'm writing, I do go into a lot more about kind of more the traditional things with witches. So I look at a lot of kind of the herbal healing remedies. I look at some of the things like you can't drown a witch, you know, witches always float.
Yeah.
Witches can't wear aquamarine. You know, there's things like that I go into sort of more oldie-woldy because I think it's quite fun. So I sort of address all that with it because the third book is kind of set in King Arthur's time in Camelot and everything. So I'm looking at Morgan le Fay, who was the witch around then and stuff. So
I'm going to watch it now, actually, the film. I'd happily finish this now and sit down in front of the telly.
And watch it. There needs to be a good one because, you know, a good.
well, you're going to have a
sort of
part
kids.
in it. So
Oh, I'll be in it.
Oh,
I
Fabulous.
haven't worked out who you can play yet, but
perhaps I could carry the cauldron or something.
Yeah.
you could. I think you'd make a good Uncle Vic, but we might have to put some padding on you.
Well, if I don't work much in the next 12 months, I won't need the padding.
Nice.
Don't worry.
And can you make your eyes go funny? Because he's slightly cross-eyed.
Yes, you can.
You might be able to put. You might be
He's
able to
doing
get,
it now.
A
if
wonky
anyone's-
one,
and
yeah.
Nobody can
You see that, guys? It's brilliant.
you know, you can get those things that go
Kind
in
of.
your eyes to change the colour. You must get one
Like
that
contact
makes
lens
your
type
head
things
look
to the side.
cross-eyed, couldn't you?
That'd be
I
good.
could do that better than me. Him.
Yeah, you can play Uncle Vic.
By Uncle Vic.
I think
can
you'd be
put
good
weight
because
on.
he is from Manchester.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
So he's got
sold
exactly. You've got
to
the
the
right
Foxter.
accent. So
Oh, that's
I
good.
think,
I
I
didn't
think that
bother
would
with another
work
accent.
quite
Then.
well.
That's all right.
We'll go to that
Cool.
Museum of Witchcraft in Boscastle, is it? And
Oh
Where's
yes,
that?
it is. Yeah.
Is it?
yeah, I've never been, but
It's
we should
brilliant.
go. And,
Yeah, I've been. Yeah.
Is it?
Mm.
We should go
We
have a
could be
look.
out every day. I mean, last week, because I was never going out. Last week, I was out every night of the week. Either with Jojo or you going to events and comedy nights and getting involved in podcast world. It's like
Oh, that's good.
suddenly life's coming back, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels good actually.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
You know, it's
Feels
funny,
good.
going back to something you were saying before, which just occurred to me, was about the seasons and Halloween, etc., etc. And we've just had COP26, you know, about the environment, etc., etc. But a lot of global warming obviously has been caused by food and harvesting and travelling that food. If we went back to just eating, consuming via the seasons across the planet, would that not have a massive impact on global warming?
Yeah, I think it would help enormously, don't you? And also,
Yeah.
why do animals, if animals are going to abattoirs, why can't they go to local? Why do they have to travel miles from one end of the country to the other to be slaughtered? For and butchered and what have you. It all used to be local, didn't it? Years ago, it was local, and I think that's much better. It's much kinder, and it just makes more sense.
There just wasn't as much stuff sprayed on the crops either, was there?
No.
And what are we consuming? You know, if people's weight and stuff going up down. There's a million and one reasons to talk about it, but maybe if you're eating, you know, strawberries and tomatoes and lettuce in the summer, that's what your body needs.
Mm-hmm.
And in the winter, you're having your root vegetables and everything else, and maybe there's more balance to it. I don't know. Maybe we should write a book about this.
Yeah.
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 Maybe we're not crossing as many foods that is probably bad for you as well, is to eat certain, different things together.
Because that's the energies, isn't it? The energies of the world are all connected to this, and probably everything we're talking about is all interconnected.
Yeah,
And it would
seasonal.
make sense that, whatever you can grow in this country at whatever time of year is probably what you need to be eating. It just makes sense, doesn't
Yeah.
it? It
Doesn't it?
totally makes sense.
Yeah, when it's coming dark, your bodies want to process certain foods at that time and everything else, where the minute mine's processing Merlot. Pretty much.
You need to live in France.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, every night. No.
It's very good for you, a glass of wine.
What about a bottle?
Red especially.
Yeah, it is good, isn't it?
Yeah,
Red wine,
it's
it's got
Isn't
antioxidants
it?
and all that stuff.
Actually, we don't have more. Actually, we don't have a bottle every night. I sense of a gin and tonic.
Mine's dark
But-
chocolate.
Oh,
Is it?
I just
Oh, I
loved
love
any
it.
chocolate, unfortunately. I just love sweet things. I've got a terribly sweet tooth.
Oh, loving all that.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking about. Our other subjects is like when we've gone into UFOs and ghosts and all that sort of thing, and from like what your view of this sort of thing might be. The thing we're coming across a lot of the time is this all interconnected. The spaceships or lights in the sky, and as I've said in there before, I saw a UFO in 1998 in Manchester, 100 foot long, gunmetal grey, 150 foot above my head, and I've seen other images of the thing that I saw since. Didn't have a phone camera at the time. It was a long time ago. Didn't have the ability to take a picture of it. But do you think it's all connected? Do you think there's some sort of paranormal thing that's kind of going on around us? And
I do think it's all connected, and I don't think we'll ever know properly because, did you read that thing recently? They were talking about other solar systems or other planets
Right.
that they haven't yet discovered. I think I'm not quite sure.
that
the
are within our
thing.
galaxy sort of thing, invisible sort of thing.
I'm not quite sure whether it's in our galaxy or beyond
Yeah.
or whatever, but I can remember years ago, and I wouldn't recommend ever doing the Ouija board. I think it's very, very, very
Yeah, yeah.
dangerous, actually.
Yeah.
But I did go through a phase where I was doing it a lot on my own
Oh, wow.
as a teenager. I think it's one of those teenage things.
Mm.
But I remember having this whole conversation with somebody about the fact that there was another planet with people like us living,
Parallel
thinking
universe.
that they were the only planet with human
Wow.
life on.
Wow.
And this would have been, I'm 50 now, so this would have been 35 years ago.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what they said this planet was called or anything, but it was definitely another planet. And I just remembered thinking about that when I recently read that people, they've discovered something that they can see that they think is
Yeah.
another.
It's just on a different
It's
wavelength.
another. I don't know whether it's another galaxy or another whatever it is.
It's like I'm saying, we
That's
can't see
beautiful thought.
mobile phone technology. You know, everything that's in the air, signals and stuff like that. We only see what we see because of the light that we see. The blue in this room isn't really blue. It is the way we interpret it. So
is it not? You're freaking me out
no.
now.
In fact, the way you see blue might be different than the way I see blue.
Well,
it could be.
That's it.
And you're a dirty blue and I'm a red. But that's another story.
Oh, right, okay.
And Sam's another red.
I'm a different red.
It's different red,
We're
yeah.
in different shades of red.
So it's still going to kick off in
But
it.
going back to, can I quickly go back to some of the spells
Oh, yeah.
and how you put those together and for what, for different... Could it be for somebody who's lost somebody or who's gone through a romantic breakup or...
Yeah, so there's one that's quite new actually to the collection, and I called it a spell to help mend a broken heart because yes, it is for people that are suffering, going through grief, having lost somebody. But there's also that grief that you feel when you've broken up with somebody as well.
Yeah.
So
that can feel like you've had your insides pulled out, can't it?
It ticks both boxes kind of thing. And again, that is really... you've got a crystal in there that's going to help, that's sort of specifically for the heart chakra. So when you're looking at your heart chakra, you're looking at either pink or green.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a green crystal in there, Amazonite, which is quite a gentle healing crystal. There's also, it gives you quite a lot of self-helpy type stuff to that particular spell. So you've got paper in there and you're sort of asked to write down at various points how you're feeling now and how you're feeling in so many weeks and how you're feeling at this point and so on. And there's also, which sounds bizarre, but there's also a hawthorn tea bag in the kit as well, because hawthorn tea is supposed to ease heartbreak and grief.
Oh, didn't know that. I like a herbal tea bag.
It's supposed to be very soothing, and I sort of say if you like this, then get yourself some more kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's a little instruction thing on how you make the tea.
Oh right, so you write out what
So
they
I
do
put
with
the
the
instructions.
kit.
Yeah. So it's
okay.
all a kit comes in a little bag, and within that is the scroll, the spell scroll, which has got all the instructions on it of what you need to do with each thing and how and what phase of the moon, because that's very important. If you are looking to get rid of something from your life, you need to do it on a waning moon, which is after a full moon but before a new moon. And if you are looking to bring something towards you, you want a waxing moon, which is just so it's after a new moon but before the moon is full. So it's waxing, it's moving towards full. And then obviously full moons are times when you do spells for extra power. So you might do your love spell on a full moon.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
New moons are for when you want something new in your life, like maybe you want to look for a new job, or you're looking for new opportunities or something like that.
So you could do a spell for all sorts of different things, I guess. It's not just, because I was just thinking sort of romance or grieving, but I guess there's a whole range.
Don't tell your Alex you're looking for romance, Tina. Let's sort that out.
But you can have, I don't know what's on the list of what.
So we've got I do like these little ones called new moon wishes. So on a new moon, so part of it's lighting a candle and you get an angel card and a crystal and everything. So I do like new moon wish for confidence and for courage and for opportunity, for healing. So lots of different ones, because obviously. So it's all about empowering you to feel
I guess
more
there's
courageous,
all sorts, isn't there?
more
Stress,
self-confident. I do a little stress buster kit, which helps people.
Should be going down a storm at the minute after the last 2 years people have had.
Yeah.
That's like.
That's what I was thinking. After lockdown, it's quite a positive.
You did, because Sam did. I can't remember what it was for now. One of my wife's friends, he did a kit for them.
Change Your Luck, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Change Your Luck charm, I think. Jojo.
It was it for? I can't remember. But I remember it was everything changed. She started getting everything. Yeah, completely
you see,
changed.
sometimes
Wow.
it's just having that kit, even before you even use it, it just changes something in your mind, doesn't it? It changes your mindset, and you go, okay, everything's going to be fine because I've got this now. And so it's the fact that you think that and you trust that and you believe that, that's the change.
Yeah. I know I used to live my life by the fact that I was a Gemini. Now, I kind of believe in my character traits a little bit. But I used to read the star signs every day. And it controlled my life. I've not read the star signs for about 20 years now. I've not lost out
that's
from
really
it.
interesting,
Do you
because
know what I
it does. It's whatever you choose to live your life by, isn't it? And
Yeah.
that can be a negative. Because if you read a good horoscope, you think I'm going to have a good day. If you read a bad horoscope, you think I'm going to have a bad day, and therefore it becomes your truth for that
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. I think there's something else in actually writing something out and doing something, though, because it's making you actually physically do something, isn't it? So
Yeah.
you're kind of moving on rather than sat there reading on your phone constantly.
Yeah,
I quite like that idea.
yeah. We
And,
don't
and
use
like you
pen
say, it
and paper
mentally sort
enough,
of,
do we?
nudges you along.
I think the world's in a funny place as well. I mean, I don't know about you, but most mornings, I know it's my wife, I pick my phone up, I'll scroll through the news, just on, you know,
No, yeah.
and it's all crap. It feels like the media, news media, certainly the red top level, are just trying to keep us feeling really a bit crap. And that there's no hope in the world, and something's happened here and something's happened there. There's very, very. I mean, when I was a kid, I'd watch News at 10 with Alistair Burnett, whoever it was, and at the end they'd go, and finally, and there'd always be an uplifting story. And I've not watched the News at 10 for years, but I don't think they do it. And if they do, it's not regular. There's just such a lack of it.
Yeah.
We
The
need
cat
some
that
happy
got
news.
stuck in the tree.
The cat that's stuck in the tree. Yeah. Or what's Gina doing today? Just you going to the vets to get
Sat
in.
looking out the window.
But it's like we need this more and more in our lives just to
Definitely.
give us a lift.
Yeah,
I think so. And there are those positive stories out there. It's just, it's easier to control people with gloom and doom, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, especially after the last 2 years, because...
Keeps them contained, doesn't it? Keeps people sort of sluggish and contained.
Yeah, because it has been hard for everybody to get out of this 2-year slump, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Just to reintegrate back into society with other people. But we need to chat to other people and see people. Actually just talking on the phone or over Zoom or
I think
whatever isn't
also
enough.
it's about not living your life in fear, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing. I think this whole 2 years has made people very, very fearful of life, and we're never going to be risk free.
No.
You can do risk assessments in anything, but there's always going to be an element of risk, and you have to make that decision, don't you? Do I want to live my life in fear, or am I going to live my life? And I think fear is so debilitating.
Yeah.
And it's easy for me to say I'm not dealing with a terribly reduced immune system, which some people are, but
Yeah.
I still think, my parents are in their late 70s, and they still want to go and do things. They want to live their lives. They're not afraid of living their life. My mum's attitude is, well, I could get run over tomorrow, I could catch something tomorrow, I could catch flu, I could do this, I could do that, so let's just live while we can.
Just get on with it. I mean, my dad, so we lost him this year, but when I was younger, he should have been a singer, he was brilliant, he was going to do this, he was going to do that. But then he'd said he'd seen this psychic in Ireland when he was 15, said he was going to be very, very rich when he was old. And he just stuck that in his head that he was going to be very, very rich when he was old. It's just like, it'll happen one day. But didn't really believe it. It was just like, it was kind of an excuse for him not to push himself, or and he was fearful of taking any risk or doing anything, and then being lonely on his own in the house and not doing anything, which has made me, and then now he's dead. I mean, I'm not putting a downer on everybody, but that's why I don't. I'm an actor now because I thought I don't want to be negative with me. If I wanted to do that, I'd do it. And with you, Sam, you're an actor as well. You're an actor as well, Gina. It's an industry where you have to believe in yourself and you have to spend your entire life taking risks.
Well, you can't live
and
your
moving
life
forward.
with a sense of entitlement that something's going to come to you at some point.
No.
You've got to get out there and
Well, a
get
lot
it.
of
But
positive thinking things do that, don't they? They say positive thinking. See yourself driving that Jag. Well, all well and good, but you're not going to it's that focus of seeing yourself in that Jag. You've got to put all the building blocks together
you've
to be
got
able
to
to do
step
it.
towards it. You can't just go, right, it's going to happen. You have to actually try and make that happen as well.
But I agree with Sam that if you become contained like we have been over the last 18 months, 2 years, it then leads to other things like anxiety and depression and
And drinking.
Yeah.
Like me on the mellow.
Drink, drugs, all sorts of things, yeah. It's just, so if you can manage to sort of drag yourself in the other direction or find some means to transport you into a more positive zone. But actually just seeing people again, like you say, and keeping in contact with people. I feel like I'm some sort of care line agony aunt now. Where are we going with this? Where have we
I know
got
what you
to?
mean, though, but I also think we're so hard on ourselves, aren't we? You think, I'm overeating, I'm drinking too much this week. Okay, chill. sometimes we go through that, don't you? Sometimes you think, right, I can't stop stuffing my face. I'm just going to have to go for it for the moment. And in a week or two, it'll calm down and we'll reassess.
It can even be months, can't it? You know what I mean? It's like, we're at this time of year now where we are getting, you know...
Oh, yeah, it's like, we've been in the shops, bought a box of celebrations before Christmas. I do it every year.
Making stews.
Foxy can do that. He's going to play Uncle Vic.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh, come on, let's get filming it, quick. Come on.
I want to be in it.
Come on, Lammy.
I'll find a part for you as well. I didn't know you were an actor. I'm sorry, Gina.
It'll be funny.
There'll be a part for you.
It's set, the book is the book set in Liverpool. I can't remember now.
It's set in Liverpool and Manchester. Yeah, the first one's both.
I look forward to this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's going to be.
So
amazing.
you got Frances is Scottish, so she's definitely. But the other characters are Uncle Vic's definitely Manc.
Yeah.
Mr. Fogarty he could be anything, but he's tall and skinny really. So
have you looked at turning this into a film then?
Well, in my head, I've because I've
many things have happened in Sam's head.
They have,
which become reality.
You never know. When I write, I see it as a film.
We need a production company out there to take this up.
Yeah,
the sound of this.
I'm doing a film at the minute. I know mine's going to get made.
Yeah.
When you get a passion about something, especially if you do write anything, you write certain things and go, "Oh, I'd like this to happen," but other things, like Sam said before, you know it's going to happen.
Well, I'm not going to just bull you up because you're my mate, but when I read the first 25 pages of your film, I thought they were brilliant.
It is
one
brilliant.
Of the best things.
I've read the
TV series.
Yeah, the TV, which I thought was staggering. Well, lots of people said how brilliant
it
was.
And but it's so tough, isn't it? And then, like you were saying before, Sam, you've got to keep that faith in these things. For us, it's writing or acting. For anybody listening, it might be working in the city or being a nurse or whatever it is.
Keep the faith.
And do it. And don't let, if you've got like a negative partner or stuff, I'm lucky that I haven't, you know what I mean? It's kind of surrounding yourself with the right people. I've kind of got rid of negative friends, actually, which is good over the years. Just those frenemies.
Yeah, horrible.
You just think, I don't need that, actually. And after lockdown, that's become even more the case. One or two people I just don't see anymore. And there's nothing particularly wrong with them, but there was always a bit of a negative side to what they wanted to say. And I thought, off you go.
Drop them off.
I'll surround myself with some other... But other nice people have then dropped in. New people, you go, they're amazing, aren't they?
Well, that's it. If you don't make the space for the new, you've got to get rid of the old to make space for the new.
Definitely.
Which goes back to Whicker.
Yes.
Really, so the same thing.
Circle of life and everything, yeah.
Well, this has been brilliant, Sam, I think. I've not got any more questions, but we'll get Sam back again in the next season.
Definitely.
It'll be spring special.
Yes.
Actually.
And if you do your haunting stuff, we got to go to that place that I used to live in Liverpool.
Oh,
the actor, Andrew Lancel.
Yeah.
Owns it. Yeah, that house.
Let's do that.
Very haunted. Yeah.
We do it in the new year, or maybe before Christmas. I don't know.
Would you come with us on that?
Oh,
Sam?
I'd love to because when I left that place, the ghost had come back. I had to go back to put something in the garden or something, and he was back. He's just on the top floor.
We'll bring our paranormal investigator Bo because we've known about Sam today, but she will love Bo, won't she?
Yeah.
She will get on with Bo.
Everybody
like
loves Bo.
Bo is incredible. She's just amazing. So before we go, a reminder: where can the listeners get your spell kits from?
So the website, you get everything's in one place on the website, www.thesamanthagiles.co.uk.
So that's spells, books
and info about the acting, everything, yeah.
Brilliant, fabulous. Well, Sam Giles, you've been amazing.
Yes, thank you very much. That was great.
We're back next week with another episode of It's Still Known UK with Foxy and the
Lamb.
Au revoir.
Bye.
Bye.
The Earth is the only visible object other than the sun that can be seen, although extreme forces, planets, I myself did not see planets around certain stars that are invisible.